right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chris, for coming along. Chris Colclough G1VDP is a familiar face, really, for those particularly who've gone down to the RSGB convention in recent years. I think I won't steal your thunder too much, but involved with the Brickworks at the time, but is now full-time at Icom UK down south in Herne Bay, which is near Maidstone, isn't it? Around that area, Medway and all that.
Yeah, just south of Medway, and just to the west of Margate, Ramsgate. Dover's just over to the southeast of us. Southeast of us. So that's the corner of the world where we are.
Brilliant. Yeah, nice part of the world too, isn't it? Yeah, Thames Estuary around there.
That's what I look out onto, the Thames Estuary.
All right. Cool. Yes, Herne Bay is a name I'm familiar with, but yeah, until Chris described it, I didn't really know where it was exactly. But he came up the only one of the big amateur radio manufacturers who turned up to NASA to have a representative there, and we got talking to him, and he kindly agreed to give us a talk to us, and the talk will be Introduction to Icom and Icom Amateur Products. So if you want to take it away there, Chris.
All right, thank you very much. So let's share the screen. So there we are, gentlemen. Right, so Icom. I'll start with an introduction to myself, which I'd normally have as the slide. But there is a little bit more on it of myself in there. Evan kindly invited me to come and see you guys. It is a little bit far to come all the way up, but I said, oh, if we could do it like this over Teams, WebEx, whatever system you use, I'm quite happy to do it. I've started with Icom on September the 1st last year. So I'm just coming up to my end of my first year with the company, and I'm going to be honest with you, I wish I'd done this 30 years ago. Fantastic company to work for. It really is. It's not just because I'm doing my hobby and I get to meet guys like you guys, and go around and play radio and do, but it's just the whole company, the structure. It's more like a family than it is working for a business. So this is what we're going to have a quick look at. An introduction to Icom and its history, the markets that we supply, a little bit about myself, the amateur radio market, and then I'll go through the current product range. So Icom itself was founded way back in 1954 as Inouye Electric by the chairman, as you see on there, Takuzo Inouye, Mr. Inouye, who's still got his finger in the pie. He's somewhere up in his 90s now, but he's just retired. And when I say just retired, about 6 months ago. So he's been working right up, and now our president is Mr. Fuki. I can never say it right. Shutomu Fuku, whatever, but I don't like saying it because it sounds wrong the way we say it. The first radio, one of the first radios that Icom made was the FDA M1, which was a 6-meter 1-watt mobile radio, which is the picture just there. They changed the name from Inouye Electric Seisakusho Company Limited to Icom Incorporated in 1978. Now, I've currently doing a bit of research for my boss on old adverts that have appeared in Radcom, Practical Wireless, etc. And I've got us back Thanet Electronics back to 1974. When the first, I think it's January 1974, when the first advert was out. And it actually says Inui radio on the advert. That's only happened today, and I've finally got them this evening. That's why I wanted to go into my emails, because they were there. I've just forwarded them on to my work email so that I've got them. Kindly sent in by members of the CDXC. So if any of you are members of CDXC, you probably saw my email earlier. So Icom have now been trading globally in two-way radio and the IP markets for over 60 years. I think we're in 62 this year. So it's a well-established company. Then this is a story of the UK branch. Started in Dave's house. He started the business from his garage, supplying crystals and parts, and he could see a gap in the market for this type of thing. So he started the business there and just doing mail order and from his home. Then he opened Thanet Electronics. That's the first shop that you see on there, which was up on Reculver Road in Herne Bay. And they traded from there and got the partnership with Icom about 1989, I think it was, when they changed the name. That's when they got the sole distribution rights. And as you see, we supply the British Army jewellery in the Falklands, and it was basically the turning point for us. We've now got the sole distribution rights in the UK and the Republic of Ireland. And then as the business grew, we moved to this place on C Street, which is probably the address that you all remember. And then we're now in this building. This is the current building up on Altera Park in Herne Bay. We have the upstairs here. This is all the offices across the top level here. Across this bottom level here is the workshops. And around the side, behind that gate, is our warehouse, which is packed to the rafters with radios and accessories, etc. This balcony is just outside the boss's office, outside Dave's and Bob's, who's now the CEO, I suppose, Bob. And occasionally during the summer we sit out there on our lunch breaks and enjoy the sun and cool drinks. So we're located here. No retail premises now. We don't sell anything direct to the end user unless it's a small accessory. So all the radios and all the big accessories, the amplifiers, power supplies, etc., speakers, they all go through our dealer network. And with the amateurs, we only have 4, which is Martin Lynch & Son, Lamco, Moonraker, and Radio World. They're not named in any favourite order. They're just as they come in my head just then. And I don't have any favourites because they're all good guys, and they all will do good deals for you. Moved into here in 2009. Yeah, we've been there quite a while. And then there are a couple of postcards of Herne Bay. Funny enough, the postcard, this one just here, if you could see it, I'm located just about here. If there was the picture was big enough, just at the end of the pier. So I look out onto the pier, and there's the clock tower, which is looking down the east, down towards the east from where I am. So I've got a lovely view out to sea here from the flat. And as I say, I wish I'd been down here for the last 30 years. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So, Icom, as I say, this year is 62 years old. And this is in the 60th year. Everybody went over to Japan to the Icom headquarters. And this here is the team photo. So you have Dave Stockley here, who's the founder of Icom UK. Bob Stockley just here, who's his son and the current main man, current boss. Then over here, a name I'm sure you're all familiar with is Ray Novak from the USA. And I'm just trying to find Sam Taylor-Nobbs just here, and Richard Owen. That's our finance director and sales director. And then this gentleman here, Shinsuke, he's the Icom Europe managing director. I was actually with him in Germany at Friedrichshafen this year, and he's a lovely fella. First time I'd ever met him, and made me very welcome. And as I say, it's just like a family. You've got the European guys just here as well. Those two are from Europe. In fact, it's a while since I've seen this photo, so there's a few names going to me now. But yeah, and that's basically Icom, history of Icom. And as you can see, award-winning products. The 7300, we sold over 100,000 units. The 7760, which is the Good Design Award. And then the Business Radio, National Marine Association, Icom Marine. And the M60 is nominated in 2024. One of our IP radios. I don't deal with these things. All I do is concentrate on the amateur radio side of things. So, what are our markets? We have the amateur radio, which we all know. Aviation. So we supply the aviation, the handheld transceivers, the little transceiver that you can have in a control tower on a small airfield. We have the mounted ones that go into the aircraft, and we've just a new one's coming out, which we've got the pre-production model today, and it's, what can I say, about 3 inches square, and it's one same shape as a dial, and it's one to be mounted into the bulkhead, which is the A300. We then have our digital and PMR, which is going up to the 446, or for taxis, businesses that just want to have radio communications through a building or things like that. Our marine, which is probably our biggest market. We supply a lot of marine radios, from handhelds to fully mounted into bulkheads and into cabins. Well, anything to do with the marine side, we have the radio for it. Your GPS, the AIS, etc. We supply that. Again, I don't do a lot in there, but I've started to pick it up because the guy who sits next to me, he's our marine specialist, and I'm picking a lot up from him and learning that side of the business. We then have the LTE and IP over Wi-Fi. Again, it's another side, so you can have a radio that can talk on, let's say, VHF or UHF, and then you can also connect it to Wi-Fi and keep the communications going. So you could have one of these radios up there, up in Stockport, and I could have one here in Herne Bay. You can call and I can speak to you. Essentially, if you imagine the old VoIP things, what we used to dabble with on amateur side of things, it's just like that. And then we have our satellite PTT phones, which is just like having a radio, but it is actually when you're talking, it's just been like being on the phone, and they work worldwide on the Starlink network. Any questions up to now? I'm still connected, I take it.
You are, don't worry.
Yeah, thank you. When it's quiet like that, I get a little bit panicky, as if, have I lost a connection and things. So if you do have any questions, do just shout up. So that's the whole market, what we do. So if any of you have got any questions on those things, I might not be able to answer right now, but I could definitely get the answer for you and feed it to you tomorrow. Within our amateur market, we also have the receivers.
Chris,
And,
can I just say something? If people, you may not be able to see everyone on your screen if they put their hand up. So I suggest that people sort of go into the chat and say that they want to ask a question, and I can facilitate that if you like. How about that?
If there's somebody needs, if you want to ask a question, all I'm seeing is the full screen of what the presentation is. I can't see any of you guys.
Also, yeah. I can only see a small scattering as well. So so any questions, just send it through the chat, and I'll pick it up.
We also do, and which is in part of my market, the amateur market, scanners, that's the R15. That's my own personal one, and I love this little radio. It's currently tuned on channel 16 on the marine band, which is a local calling. Well, no, it's the calling channel. And I've generally most nights I've got this tuning in and scanning around, listening to whatever's happening out here on the marine side of things. I got it mostly for aviation, because you can listen to both. It's got two receivers. Literally has got two receivers in it, so you could be listening to the tower. Let's say to an air show, you could be listening to the tower and what's happening with aircraft movement, and they could be listening to the actual aircraft up in the air. So let's say the Red Arrows, you can listen to their channel, or any of the teams and the frequency that they use. And that's the main reason I got that. But since I've been here, I sit just in my window and listen to what's happening in the marine world. As I say, if you can see the view, there's some huge ships go past here. So the Thames, can't remember what they call it, the Thames area, the guys that cover that, they're always talking to all the ships. So it is quite a busy area. And then we've got the smaller R6 and the R8600, which is a bigger radio, but I'll get back onto them later. So they're also all part of my remit as well. So who am I? My name's Chris Colclough, as I say there, joined Icom September 2025, and has since become an integral part of the team. I didn't write this, by the way. This was written by, actually written by my boss and one of our girls in the office. So everything what's on there is not my words. But since I've been there, you saw me up at Blackpool, which is the photo on the left, and also on the bottom right. No, that's at the convention, bottom right, with Bob Beebe, our RSGB president. Then the middle photo is at Sheffield University. We've loaned them an Icom 7100 for the Sheffield University Amateur Radio Club. For them, the kids there to use and learn about amateur radio. All the people in there are licensed. The tall guy, Leon, he's been licensed a number of years. He's an M0, can't remember his call, but he's the one who's instigated all this and led all this. And on the day that I visited to donate that, on that club night, they were building antennas using pieces of bamboo and wire. And Leonard got them to do a 77 beam. It was all for 70 centimeters. So they were doing a beam. What else did they do? A quad. Well, I can never remember the name of the antenna. It's like 3 or 4 diamonds, but it has behind it a reflector. And then there were 4 teams of 2. So I said, build a rhombic for 70 centimeters. And they've actually got the rhombic working. So the next time I go up, we're going to have a play with it and have a demonstration. Then down in the left-hand corner, that's at my radio club down here, the East Kent Radio Society. We had windmills on the air day. And you've got JJ, who's got the headset on. He's licensed and a new operator. So I'd got him on the radio. He was doing the contacts. And the young girl is Molly. She's not licensed yet. She works with me at Icom, and she works in our workshop. She's one of our engineers. She's very, very technically adept, and she's about to take her foundation license and then move on up through the levels. with my encouragement, I hope. But yeah, she's very, very enthusiastic. In fact, both of them are. And it's great to work with the kids. I do encourage youngsters to get into the hobby because the demographic is just out of balance at the minute, I think. And that's me. I've been licensed 40 years, 1986 when I first got my license, and came back on the air in 2003 after moving around and marriage and divorce and things. So yeah. And my interest is HFDX, which is my main interest, but I will have a go at anything in the hobby. And then, as I say, because of the job, I've had a huge learning curve on the Icom products. Any questions? Nope. Okay. So the Icom, sorry, yes, carry on.
Yeah, minimize if you want to minimize or take down the presentation, just so you can see everyone. Yeah, so stop sharing the screen, basically.
Yeah, I've got you all up now. I've just tabbed across. I've still got that as there, so I can see you guys.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So shoot, fire away, anybody. I've got a question.
Go on.
Well, just a point. I think just on your scanner. I remember. I mean, I bought a scanner. The first scanner I got was years and years and years ago. And one of the disadvantages of it was, I mean, say for instance, you were at the airport, and I mean, the main thing to listen to is the actual tower, giving the landing clearances and takeoff clearances, and you want to listen to ground and maybe the approach as well, and you had to it had a little, it flipped back on priority, and so it would. You could always miss a little bit of the conversation. So if it's dual receive, I mean, that's really good. You can listen to maybe the final director or something like that, and also have the tower and not miss anything in the tower, I guess. So that's quite a step forward. I use a Tandy scanner circa 1987 or something. Well, I find that's the best one to use that I've got anyway.
Okay, well, while you've just been talking there,
yeah,
I don't know if can you see the screen okay?
Not really.
Well, it's got split screen. So at the bottom here at the minute, I've got 430025, so it's on 77s. And then just above it on VFOA, I've got channel 16, the calling channel on Marine. So you would have tower on one.
Yeah. And
then on that one, you'd have approach or ground, whatever you want to listen to. And whichever picks the signal gets the priority and comes into your headphone. If you've got, let's say, headphones, you could have one in one ear, one in the other, or just like that, you'd get it. Take whichever's got the priority, basically. So if I've just gone like that, that's priorities is VFOB. So that would be the one that comes out first. So if they're both talking, VFOB would be the one that would come out.
Yeah.
And VFOA would be left, or vice versa. So you could have that listening to any. It doesn't just have to be aircraft. It could be anything where you duplex.
Yeah, that's really good. So and of course, although you didn't miss what the tower said with the priority, you always missed a bit of what the approach that was saying, so it kept flicking back and forth. Yeah.
That's silly question from me. Can you split it so you got one VFO through one ear and the other through the other?
Yes. So if you put headphones in, let's say stereo headphones, you would have VFOA on one side, VFOB on the right, on the other. Yeah. So it does. You can listen to them both at the same time. So.
Yeah. Actually, Roy asked, can I listen to aircraft on both channels? On both channels. Yeah. I think. That's probably quite easy to do, isn't it?
You can set that.
AM signals on both channels, or is it most radios?
Yeah, you can have. Yeah.
All of aircraft's on AM, isn't it? Still.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, you can listen to. I mean, I'm just showing you there. I've got it on marine, and that's simply because I've got this 30 yard that way, or 30 meters that way, is the Thames Estuary or the North Sea, whatever you want to call it, because of where we are on the Kent coast. And and I'm not joking when I say that. If I could move the camera to show you out of the window, you would see that. As I say, I'm literally just across the road from the beach.
Wow.
Yeah, I do face out to sea. That's the one beauty of being down here. I have landed. I'm very lucky with the flat that I've got, of the location and everything. So yeah. So I listen to.
I'm going to say, so basically, you're all right for ice cream.
Oh yes, yes. I've got a beautiful ice cream parlour on the pier, and I've got two just up the road to the east. So, and fish and chip shop. There's one just around the corner. There's one just across the park.
So you've done away with the microwave and the cooker.
Well, more or less.
Well, just another question. Just another question about the scanner. Does it cover military airband as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yes. It's. I've turned it off. I've got mine programmed for lots of military frequencies, for such as RAF Coningsby, Waddington, Fairford, Pembury. I've got the Red Arrows in there. I've got a lot of the teams, because I also volunteer at RIAT every year. So if ever you're at RIAT, come to the viewing village and I'll be there with the Royal International Air Tattoo outfit on, uniform. So yeah, and that's where that is the reason I bought this R15, for that simple reason. I can hear ground, tower, approach, whichever combination I want to have on there. So yeah, and I only bought that this year, and with no RIAT, I've not really had it to put it through its paces. But regularly, I've mentioned the marine. I have it scanning the civil, because the route into Heathrow, Southend, City all come straight across the bay. So I am but being an aircraft enthusiast, I'm in a great place. So yeah, and I'm not a sailor. I don't like boats, but I listen to them. And it's great for listening to the RNLI. Whenever I see the orange boat out there, I'm straight on Channel 0, or the rescue helicopter, because they're based down just around the road at Manston. So
is that 156.8? Is it?
156.8 is the call in Channel 16, and 156 is the .000 is the RNLI SARS frequency.
And that's Channel 0 on the
Channel 0, yeah.
Things
156. So if you've got scanners, they're the national calling and the national RNLI. And the other thing as well, because I'm here on the estuary, not only do I hear Whitstable lifeboat, but I've got Southend and Clacton just across the way. So I hear anything what's happening up over there on that coast. In fact, on the day of the eclipse, I was sat here listening to it, and I got Humber Coast Guard on Channel 16. And that is quite away from here, up to Humber. So, yeah, the enhancement on that evening of the eclipse was there. So, any further questions on that little bit?
Can I just ask a question? How long does Icom support a product like the 7300 Mark 1? When will parts supply dry up for it?
Well, most of the parts from the 7300 Mark 1 are in the 7300 Mark 2. So, whilever the 7300 Mark 2 is going, I would say you get the parts for the Mark 1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's inside. Literally, they're virtually the same. on the main board and what have you. It's just the added bits that are different. So your main board, I would say, is probably exactly the same. So you would still get the support for them.
Well, would you do a conversion from Mark 1 to Mark 2? Would you offer a kit people can do
No.
themselves?
No.
You won't do that.
No. I think there's just too much what you'd have to do.
Oh,
in
is
there.
there?
Yeah. There is a big difference inside.
Yes.
But most of the parts are interchangeable.
So the software, a large part of software is.
Yeah, software, hardware, firmware, and certain parts of the board which are different because of the new design with the how it runs cooler, just different components. Essentially, it's just different components that have changed, and then you've got the two antennas coming in, your LAN. So they're a different part, different boards, but the main part I would say is virtually the same.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the support, it's not going to be ended in the next year or two. You are going to go on for a few years now. If you've got an old 271 or a 251 or an O2E, we haven't got the parts anymore. They're the old Icoms. But the modern stuff, I think we can still get parts up to about 15 years ago, something like that.
That's quite good, isn't it? Yeah.
So yeah. So I know some of the 7851, the 7850. I'm trying to think of the old radios. The 7400, the 746.
706.
706. We can still get the parts for 706. Which eventually will dry up, but we can still get the 706 Mark II G parts. And yeah, so you can see how far back we go. 7000, we can still get all those parts. So it's just really, I had a 731. Was it? No, 271. That had got a slight drift on it, and I took it in and gave it to my counterpart Chris Ridley, which most of you probably know if you've seen him at the shows and what have you. And I said, "Can you have a look at that, Chris, and see if it's aligned all right?" He went, "Yeah, but I can't fix anything if it is." He said, "I'm not touching the pots." He says, "I'm not breaking them pots because I just can't get them anymore." And it's just because it was I think we're about 30-year-old, 35-year-old, this radio. So it's getting those parts that we can't do. So, but yeah, if we haven't got it, we'll try and get it for you from Japan. So, anything else? Right, go back on to sharing my screen. Have you still got the share?
Yeah, we can
still see.
Yeah,
still see the share screen. Right. Okay. So, the amateur market today. I'm not going to read it all that out. We are still one of the leading manufacturers. We now have D-Star, which is the digital voice system. Basically, you could work the world on it. It's again, talk to your local repeater or into the internet, and you come out at the other end using the reflectors. I've played with it, and I enjoy playing with it, and I sometimes have it on. Bring an ID 52 ohm or a 705, and I will have it on here and play away. This is the only downside with the building where I am. I've got nowhere to put antennas, so I'm on a little mobile whip on a mag mount, stuck on a metal bar stool, which I stand here at the side of the desk. And if the what are they, the rules of with radiation rules, I'd be breaking them because it's too close to me. But as I say, I only use it for listening. So yeah, so we one of the leaders, and we've got such as the RSPA1 remote control software, so you can control your radio from anywhere in the world. So let's say you've got a 7300 Mark II, or even a 7300. If you connect that to your computer, then to the internet, and you've got a laptop or an iPad or something, you can actually use it remotely from wherever else in the world using RSBA one. There is other software out there that you can use as well, which is third-party software, but the RSBA one is the one for Icom. We also do repeaters. You can see on the image just here, this is all a D-Star. So you've got one of our repeaters here, the ID52, the 5100, 705, and then this is the 9700 flagship, which is VHF, UHF, and 23 SEMS SHF. If you have a repeater in your area, or if you're a member of a repeater group, we do a sponsorship scheme with repeaters, where we will offer a repeater. We own it. You guys use it at your end with a D-Star facility and have it connected to the internet so it can be D-Star. But if ever the group splits up or folds or anything happens, we take that repeater back. You would have to supply your own filters, your cavities, your own antennas, duplexes, etc. But we will supply the repeater for you. So if you've not got anyone in your area and you're thinking of having one, please do get in contact with me at work, and we'll see what we can do for you. So we do encourage that. We're trying to get more. I'm trying to get more D-Star repeaters around the country. So the products, we'll start with the R15 and then with the R6 and the R8600 R receivers. As you can see here on the screen, I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see me. He's got a tower, and then maybe an approach or something like that. So that's what he's using on that one there. As I say, that's exactly like how I use mine, but at the minute I have scanning on there for the traffic going in and out of Heathrow and City. And the bottom one I've probably got on one of the marine channels, just monitoring that. Or depending in what mood I'm in, I might have them both monitoring approach into Heathrow, or one approach into Heathrow, one approach into City. The R8600 covers from 150 kilohertz, we'll say, right through to 3 gig. So it's a complete full receiver. Receives, D-Star, I think it does DMR, and one or two other NXDN, and a couple of other things. So you can sit there with that. I know a guy in Oxford who uses one of these as a shortwave receiver, as well as scanner, listening to the aircraft band. He's like myself, he's an aircraft enthusiast. So it's really good whole complete receiver. Then the little R6, just a simple receiver. It covers from, I think it's around about 26 megs up to nearly 2 gig, something like that. But that's in a little handheld. This is an old R2, and it's probably just a little bit bigger than that, if you can see that. That was my dad's. That's why I've still got that one there. Bit of nostalgia because he's passed away 20 odd years ago. Anyway, that's part of my collection. So yeah, so we covered all that for receiving, etc. I've just noticed that receivers has split. I have to sort that out at work. So that's our receiver section. Then we go into our little handhelds. The T10 is VHF, UHF, FM. Just a basic 2m70 SEMS. It does have extra receive. I think you can receive the airband on it, as I'm remembering right. Then you've got the ID50 in the middle. which currently is probably the bargain handheld of the moment. Full duplex, so you can again have, as it shows on there, you're looking at 2 meters on FM on VFO-A, VFO-B. It's got set to our GB7 IC D-Star repeater, and you can listen to both of them. You could have on VFO-A, you could be listening to the airband, because it does cover airband as well, both the VHF and UHF. So you can listen to both of those, and also take it away and talk and use it just as FM or D-Star. It's got a facility on there which will find the local repeater, so you can put it onto like a repeater search, and it will find the local one to you and bring everything in and put it on the screen, so you're straight in and key up and away you go. Then the ID52E Plus, same sort of features as the ID50, but that has a colour screen, and again it's full D-Star, full F2 FM, and it has GPS on there. So yeah, it's again a great little handheld transceiver. Both of them are 5 watts with the battery, and both got good battery life on them as well. So that's our handheld range. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else on there. No, I can't think of anything else on it. If you look at the ID50 and the ID52 Plus, you've got the same features as the R15 and the scan. Now, one of you has mentioned the 7300 already, so I'm taking it you've got the 7300. All our radios from the ID50 right through to the 7760, including the R8600 and the R15, operate with a similar menu system. So if you've got a 7300 and you're used to the menu system and settings and everything on that, you could operate the ID50 or the 7760, simply because it's a common feature in the menu system. It just adds different features as you go up through the range. And as I say, the ID50's got the same. The R15, that's got the same. Well, it's got the same menu system in there as well, so you can literally operate any of them. Very intuitive. And then our mobile. Now we're looking at the IC2730 up here. That one is a 2 meter 70 SEMS VHF UHF FM. It hasn't got D-Star. It's just purely FM. A great little mobile rig. Also covers the airbands. Again, it's part of nearly all our transceivers will cover the airband at some point on the VHF side of things. So you've got 2 meter 70 SEMS, VHF, UHF, plus your airbands, fully programmable. It's hundreds of memories. They're absolutely brilliant little radio. And I'm considering one of those in my car rather than one of our D-Star transceivers, because I'm more likely to use it on FM than with D-Star. But then again, the way I travel up and down the country, I probably get on D-Star, probably use it a lot as well, going through different areas where I go. And certainly when I go up to Doncaster, because there's a D-Star repeater up in that area that I would be using up in Barnsley. Then the ID5100, that's being replaced by our new radio, the ID5200, which is due out and will be available from next month, and will be in the shops next month or in the stores. So that's again VHF, UHF, D-Star, full receive. It's got where this one's got the I'm not going to say black and white, 'cause it's not. It's like a blue and black screen. The new one's got a colour screen. And because it's not physically in the shops yet, I haven't got it on this presentation. Then you've got the IC7100, HF, VHF, UHF. So that's you could have the RF part of the radio in the boot. Then you put this little part here somewhere in your car. It's easily mountable, will fit virtually any car, and you can have a Bluetooth unit, so you can have a Bluetooth headset onto it, and Bluetooth into it. The other two, the 2730 and the 5100, both of them again are available to have a Bluetooth unit fitted, and again you can have just a remote Bluetooth headset, so you're completely hands-free when you're mobile. So yeah, back to the 7100. Just have that head unit in the car and the RF deck in your boot. Short antennas into your boot, leads into your boot then, and you're fully HF through to VHF, UHF. 100 watts output, great little radio. Now the 705, this is one of my favourites. It's just a small, portable, 5 watts on battery, 10 watt on 13.8 volt HF, VHF, UHF transceiver, full general coverage receive, covers 6, same with the 7100 as well, 6 and 4 meters, not just your 2 and 70. Also does 5 megs, so if you're into 60 meters. If you enjoy doing SOTAs or POTA, this little radio, 10 watts and a simple antenna, and you can go out portable. And it's, as I say, it's one of my favourites. I've just taken one back, the demo one back to work because we needed it this morning in the office. But I've had it here for over a week, well, for the last 2 weeks actually. And I've been playing and listening on HF. As I say, I can't put an antenna up to transmit, but I can receive quite a lot on just a piece of wire, which I just throw out of the flat window and let it dangle down. It does get a lot of noise, but I do have a bit of fun listening to the broadcast, which is where I started really. So yeah, great, fantastic little radio for portable. Any questions?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, whoever wants to go? There's someone there?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
All right. Hi, Chris. I've got one question for you. I like Icom radios. I've got a couple. I've got a 7100. I've even got an old one of these, an IBE 880.
Yep.
The thing that would dissuade me from buying a new Icom car unit is the fact that it doesn't come with the mount. Why?
I have no idea, and this is a question that we've put to Icom Japan. Every Wednesday morning we have Sam, Richard, and Bob have a meeting with Japan over Teams, and the question is, why are there no mobile mounts with? I'm going to use the 5200 with the new one. Again, you've said with the 880, I think that didn't come with mobile mounts, did it?
It's got magnets in the back.
Right. So that's just got the magnets in the back.
Just got the magnets in the back.
But you didn't get a mount for it to sit on your dashboard, what you could put that onto or anything like that. No. So it's been a question, why don't you supply a mobile mount? And I've no answer to it. I can't tell you why they don't do it.
Because it's noticeable that most of the new Icom range that does have detachable heads, there's no mounting.
No.
And that's a problem. That's a massive problem. Because when you look at how much the mounts are, they're really expensive.
Yeah.
Now, Icom radios are expensive. We accept that because they're good. But it just seems a bit like, taking a bit more than it should be something in the box.
And I fully agree with you. I've got to agree with you on that one because every radio or most mobile radios used to come with them. certainly the mobile, they would have some kind of mounting with them. I can go back to the Yaesu FT290 or the Icom IC290. You didn't get one with them, but they had like a cradle that you used to get, which you slid in and out, slid the radio in and out of. So you could leave that in your car and slide the radio out. But they were a proper, like a proper cradle that they slid in and out of. You're going to point your heads at.
Just happens to have one here.
Yeah. So you know what I mean with that one, but they didn't come with the radio back then. But if you look at such as what we've got now, where you've got an RF deck and a head unit, you'd think there'd be some kind of a mobile mount with both of them. Now I don't know whether Yaesu do include them or not. I couldn't tell you on that. And I'm not. And again, with the Kenwood ones, I don't know if they include them. But because Kenwood have got a new VHF UHF coming out shortly, and I don't know if they're going to include them. But I agree with what you say. They should have some kind of a mobile mount, and it's a question that we put to Japan every week, or every time there's a new radio comes out. I've seen a couple this year.
What's their response?
We'll look at it.
Right.
Now it must be they must have the same questions out in Japan from the users out there. Why is there no mobile mount?
Well, portable's huge in Japan, isn't it?
Yeah. So I haven't got an answer for that question, but I will find one and I will get an answer to you for it. And if they say it's keeping the costs down, then it's not keeping the cost down that much. Not for how much we pay for the radios, etc. But that's my own personal. That's not Icom's opinion. That's my own personal opinion, by the way.
Thanks, Chris.
On that one. So yeah, but I do think that there should be one of some kind.
Chris, I really do appreciate your answer. I really do.
No problem. You had one, Evan?
Yeah, I think just a couple of things. Yeah, I think you made a good point. But I think another thing is with these mounts is that a lot of these mobile rigs aren't really used for mobile use so much. I mean, dare I say it, it's a Yaesu rig, the FT891. It's a mobile rig, but that is huge on the POTA sites, and so is the IC705, on SOTA as well. And yeah, people probably use them in their cars, but just probably plonk them on the dashboard or the seat nearby. I think this has changed a bit. I think certainly backpacker portable has taken off, and even with sort of 100-watt rigs. And that's the question I was coming on to. I mean, with regards to the IC7100, I mean, that's been out for a while now. Is Icom looking at replacing it with maybe doing a IC705 Optima type, which Yaesu
tell you. I couldn't tell you. All I can say is we've got the XO26, which is the new radio that's going to be unveiled. What date are we on? We're on the, what date is it? 18th, isn't it? So a week on Friday, the 27th, that will be unveiled at Tokyo Hamfest.
What is it?
The XO2, it's currently known as the XO26.
Right.
I have no information on what it is yet. My boss will not tell me. He thinks that when I do these sort of things and when I go out and talk to people, and I'm always getting the same question asked. At WRTC, I had a dummy model of it, which is basically just a fascia with a square plastic box, which was to represent the RF deck. So I do know it's in two parts, like the 7100, but it's not a big square triangle thing. It is more of a flat head unit. I don't know whether it's what the output of it is. I don't know what it's going to be called. I don't know what bands it covers. I don't know whether it's just going to be a HF, whether it's another VHF, UHF, which I doubt. I know one thing, it's going to be multi-mode. I do know that a bit. That has crept out of it. But I don't know any more than that. And when I normally ask the question of, especially when I'm talking face to face with people, and I got this unit because they're looking at it, and they said, "What's it going to be?" I said, "I don't know. What do you think it's going to be?" And the three answers I got were the top three answers: IC 705 with 100 watts, which is, as you say, like the Optima, a replacement for the 7100, or a replacement for an IC 7000. Came out a few times as well.
I thought that was the 7100 anyway.
Well, it was, but the 7000 had a colour screen.
True.
So a lot of people do still like the 7000s, and they do say we could get a radio like that one because, like you say, perfect size for portable, perfect size for going out on expeditions, 100 watts, and a golf cart battery, and you're away.
Yeah, Evan used to like his until he blew it up last year.
Oi! Must be the manufacturer. No, I don't think
That must be the same with Icom amplifiers, not Icom amplifier, linear amp amplifiers, and other amplifiers, because I seem to blow them up regularly. Or I used to do in the past.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't mind actual linear at the top.
we've got a new one coming out shortly. It's another, well, as I say, I'm going to say 2 weeks, and we'll know everything about it. And I do know that we're aiming to have it out and delivering it to you guys for Christmas as a nice Christmas present for you. I do know that because I've had that from head office, from Suzuki, and a few other people who are a bit higher up. You're going to say something, Nigel.
We better be nice, not naughty then, wasn't we?
No, I was just going to say thank you very much for the Christmas present. Like, you know, we shall accept it quite nicely.
Yeah, well, it'll be in the shops ready for you to spend your hard earned, and a nice little Christmas present from your wife.
Yeah, if I had one, but there you go.
Oh, well, same as me. But see, I don't know your background, so.
Absolutely, no problem at all. But I mean, looking at the product range, it's certainly quite considerable, isn't it? I mean, the one I think one you didn't mention there was the IC 905, which is a really interesting one as well, isn't it?
I'm coming up to that one.
All right, okay, I'll shut up then.
Yeah, I'm coming up to that one. So, any more questions up to where we are now?
No, you carry on. And good evening, Chris, who's just joined us.
Right, good evening.
Good evening, Chris.
Good evening.
Oh my word!
I've just downloaded WebEx and I know I'm a bit late. I was I tried to listen to a satellite pass and didn't manage it.
Okay, right. Well, I'll go back onto the.
Yeah, you carry on.
Onto this. So then, base stations. As I say, we've got the RSBA1 software, so we can remote. But our base range, our HF base station range, starts with the 718. Rugged. It is a very basic radio. It's rugged, very good receive. It doesn't have DSP, but it's got some filtering in there that can, you can tune around and you can filter things out. Then we start with the SDR receivers, which is like the 705. We've got the 7300 Mark II with the new Morse reader, as you can see on there. That does work. I borrowed the 7300 Mark II at Christmas. We just got it, so it was the new demo radio. I had it here. As I say, I chucked a piece of wire out the window for receiving, and sat. And I can't remember what contest. It was one of the there was a contest on sometime over the Christmas holidays, and I thought, right, I've got to test this CW decoder out. It struggled on some of the hand sent CW, but that would usually be because they were going at such a rate that it struggled with really high speeds. Most people nowadays send with a keyboard. Sounds as if they're cheating, but if you think you're in a contest They do send with keyboard, and it was fine. Virtually every keyboard decode was just as you're seeing there. So it does work. HDMI out into a monitor. The first radio in anybody's manufacturing that's got a HDMI. Others have got DVX. We have DVX as well. Not DVX, DVI. But this is the first one that's got the HDMI. Then you've got the two receiver or the receiver antenna in and out. You can put a second receiver on there. You can put some kind of another SDR on there, or a receiving antenna. And yeah, it's a cracking little radio. I'm undecided on how I'm going to be operating going forward in the next 12 months. Most of my operating at the minute's done from here remotely to a friend's up north. I'm looking at setting up a remote station down here with the chairman of our club, because we've got a site, or he's currently got a site, but I've said, look, I'll come in and I'll supply some gear, and you've got this gear, and we'll set up a proper remote station with a beam and what have you, because it's a great site. We're going to be using it for our SSB field day in a couple of weeks. And I don't know whether to have that and then get myself something like a 7300 Mark II or a 705 just for doing a bit of poter and portable work on my own, just for a bit of fun at weekends, and if I go anywhere on holiday or anything like that. So I'm undecided between 7300 Mark II or the 705. More than likely going to be 7300 Mark II for the simple reason, 100 watts. But yeah, they're the two favourite rigs for myself. If you've got a 7300 Mark I, you'll easily work out how this one operates. It's just got a couple more features than the Mark I, as I say. Oh, then you've got the LAN as well, so you can just connect it directly to a router, connect it direct to the internet, and operate from anywhere in the world using this radio, and a laptop or an iPad, etc., using the RSBA1 software. And then we've got the RC28, which is this little thing here underneath this guy's hand. So you could have that connected to your USB on your laptop, as he has here. Got it connected to a computer with a microphone. All the audio coming out of the speakers on the screen, looking at that. And it acts as a VFO, so you can tune the VFO, your VFO with it. And then we go up to the 9700, which is VHF UHF, identical to the 7300 in size. Again, will work remotely. 2 meter 70 SEMS, 23 SEMS, 3 antenna inputs, 1 for each band. Full mode, all mode, USB, SSB, FM, AM, RTTY. These radios have also got decoders built into them for RTTY. I think the 7300 Mark II has got one that will do FT8 direct, so you don't need to have it connected to computers as well. I know FT8's a Marmite mode. Some of us love it, some of us hate it. So I'm just bringing it up just because I know it's one of the features on here. Then we've got the 7610, another HF radio, 6 meters, covers dual receive, everything what you've got on a 7300 Mark I. It currently doesn't have a CW decoder, but again, it's something we've asked Japan to see if they can integrate into some firmware, if it can be done, or if on the next version, if this gets an upgrade, if that can have the decoder in there, because it's something what people are asking for. Full featured, full DSP and filters and everything. Almost the flagship of the range. And then we've got the 905 VHF, UHF, Super HF. So it's you could have two radios, two little radios as well, because this is the same size as a 705 that goes from top band right through to 10 gigahertz. And this one does 2 meters, 70 sems, 23 sems, 13 sems, 10 sems, 3 sems. You know, it goes right up to 10 gigs. And that's where I lose myself with the centimeter bands, because I get a nosebleed above 70 megs. Sorry, 70 centimeters. If I go on any band higher than that, I just, you know, I'm going too high. I've played with one at our place. You have this unit that you see here on the screen. You have that at on your shack desk. Then you're running a Cat6 cable out to a RF unit, which goes up by your antennas. It's only 10 watts, but that is simply done this way because it's got the you're going up into the gigahertz bands, which need shorter cable runs. Now, if you want to use this on, let's say, 2 meters, if you are into VHF, UHF, and you want to run an amplifier with it, we suggest that you put the RF deck in if you've got a tower, in a big waterproof box or a cabinet of some sort. Run your cables in, and then you're keeping short cable lengths to your antennas, and you can run your amplifiers. The guys who do the ARIS contacts, the amateur radio on the International Space Station, they've borrowed one from us and have been evaluating it just for that reason. Currently, they use a system where they're running coax cables out to a tower, and they've got cables running all along the floor in the school halls and where they do the contacts, and they're now thinking of a safer way of doing it. With this, they would just need one cable, which would be the Cat6, running out to the base of their tower, and then everything would go up to the tower in the cabinet at the bottom. They'd have their amplifiers. There'd be two cables. There'd be the mains cable for the cabinet, or the box where they're going to put their amplifiers, and have their amps and all the other bits and pieces at the tower base, and then just have this connected to the screen, so they can put it on a big screen for the schools and for the presentations. So again, great little piece of kit, and yeah, same menu system as all the others. So yeah, and then we come to our flagship, the 7760. This is a big unit. It has a big RF deck, and then you've got the head unit, the head unit there, which is the control. There's a guy just across the water here on the Isle of Sheppey who's got one of these. Excuse me, and he has the control head on his shack desk. The RF deck is, I think, it's about 50 meters down his garden in a shed, and he runs, again, it's Cat6 cable, shielded Cat6 from the garden, the shed, up into his house, and he operates it that way. He's looking at getting a PW2, so you've got the 1 kilowatt amplifier, and that operates virtually the same. So you've got the little control unit just here, which sits in that part there, and that's just a blanking plate, clips in and out. But he's going to have this unit on his shack desk, and this part is going to be down in the shed with the RF deck for the 7760. Again, it's Cat6 cable. He's going to run from here down to the shed. Fully remotable, both items. You could have the RSBA1 software and work from anywhere in the world on your laptop, iPad, iPhone, and remote back into it. Or if there's a group of you, the PW2 you could have in in the RF deck there, in the shed, and be fully controlled. But if there's a group of you, let's say there's 5, well, it's a maximum of 5 people, you could have the 7760 out in a remote site somewhere, the RF deck connected to the internet, and each one of you could have one of these control heads in your shack. You can't all connect at the same time. It's only one person at a time who can connect, so you'd have to work out some kind of a router or whatever with it. But you could have 5 of these control decks connected to one RF deck, and all be able to work remotely into this station what's out in a field somewhere with big antennas and etc. Again, the PW2, you can control that using, I think it's the RSBA1 software. You can control the PW2. That follows the 7760. So if you're on 20 meters on the 7760 and you switch down to 40 meters, the PW2 will follow you down to 40 meters. Trying to think how many antennas. I think it's 4 antenna sockets you can have on the PW2. So you can have 4 antennas coming in, and it will then switch to whichever's the correct antenna. Or you could have 2 stations. You could be, let's say, at a contest station, both of you with 7760s or 7610s, and you can connect 2 radios to the PW2, and both of you can be using it at the same time. You don't lose power. It wouldn't drop down to 500 watts each. It would stay at a kilowatt each, but you can have 2 radios in there operating on 2 separate bands. So it really is a flexible system that we've got with all these radios that we've got now. And that's it. So thank you for listening, gentlemen, to my droning on. Let's stop sharing and come back to you guys. Yeah, stop sharing. Minimize that. And here we are. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got you.
Can I ask a question about the IC905?
Yes.
I guess the target group would be for people who'd want to work through QA100 satellite. Would that be fair?
No.
No.
There's a big problem with it, and because this was my first question when I started. Well, one of my first questions was because I had this thought: the IC905 to use for QO100. The problem is the 10 gigs unit uses, I can't remember which band it is now. It's the band, it's the uplink band for the QO100 is used as the IF for the 10 gigs unit.
Right.
So you can't do the full crossband on that.
You go up to 5.6.
This is where it trips up. And I think because QO100 is not available in Japan, they didn't think that this would be, because the footprint doesn't quite cover Japan, does it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
you're right.
they wouldn't think that it's something that could be done. It
just seemed like the timing was around the same time that it was coming out.
Yeah.
The QI1 was going up.
But in
but I think that is probably one of the reasons they just didn't think, if they'd have put it down as a 77s using the 77s IF, it would have been perfect because you could have done it exactly what you've just said, as up and down. But because it's, what is it, 2.3 gigs? The uplink, I can never remember what the uplink is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 2.3 up and 10 down, isn't it?
2.3 up, 10 down, isn't it? So the 2.3 gigs up is used as the IF for the 10 gigs.
I guess the thing is, I mean, we do it when we do QI100, don't we? We'll listen through the Lizard Island SDR anyway. The point is, I guess, getting up there.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's the only reason you can't do it with the 905. You're going to say something, Nigel?
All I was going to say was the 705 is being used by people that want to use the QO100. I mean, to be honest, we use an 817, don't we, Nigel? Yeah, that's what we use. But but we have a DX Patrol kit, so at the end of the day, that serves the purpose. Yeah.
Before I moved from Nuneaton, I just literally got it to the point where I was going to have it set up and tune everything. I built a QO100 unit in a waterproof plastic box. I know you can see me now, about that sort of a size. What, about 12 inches by 8 inches, by about 4.5 inches deep, and I built it on around the Pluto SDR. And that my intention was that run on, again, Cat 5, Cat 6 cable down to the dish. That was going to be outside the house behind the dish, fed with 12 volts. That's all I needed to drive it, a 12 volt feed, which then had all the amp to do everything, all the other bits, and everything was in there, and the dish. And that was my intentions, was to get on QO100. Move down here, and as I say, where I am, the flat faces north, so I can't stick a satellite dish on the front of just a normal Sky dish to get on, because it's at the back of the building. I've got no access to the back of the building to put any antennas in what bit of a garden we've got, a little bit of a yard. So I've got nowhere to put the antennas, so I just got rid of the lot. But now I'm considering building a new one, as a winter project, I suppose, to go out portable next year. Excuse me, go out portable with it, or for the construction competition at the club. Anything else? Any other questions?
Go on,
Yeah.
Evan, you want to say
Go on,
something?
Roy, you've got your hand up.
I've got 3 questions with regards to Icom stuff. I've got a 7300 Mark 1.
Yes.
It has a RTTY facility, but you can receive, but you can only send standard messages. It doesn't give you the options to plug in a keyboard, so you can actually amend the messages. That's my first question. Go on.
I agree with what you've said there, because I used to have one 3 or 4 years ago before I moved down here. I had the 7300 Mark II, and that was something I thought was a bit strange, that you couldn't plug a keyboard into it. So yeah, I know what you're saying on that one. Again, it's been fed back, and unfortunately, they've not done it on the Mark II. That's exactly the same. So you can set up your macros into it and program it with your buttons, but there's no way of just having free type keyboard, unfortunately.
My second question is a 9700. Sorry, yeah, 9600. Sorry, 9600. You've got terminal mode. You've got a terminal mode, haven't you, on it? What is that used for?
Yes.
I don't understand what it's used for.
If you're, let's say you're somewhere where you're not in range of a repeater, D-Star repeater, you set that as the terminal to access the repeaters through the internet. So you connect it to your to the internet, and that acts as a terminal, so that you can just talk straight through and into a D-Star repeaters and into the D-Star network.
Is it only the reflectors I can actually connect to? That's what I can't.
No, you can connect to repeat if you're close to a D-Star repeater, then you don't need to use the terminal,
right?
Because you just use the normal D-Star connection through the repeater. It's designed to be used as for people who haven't got the access to repeaters. So somebody who's way out in the sticks somewhere, or it could be in a big city, and there's no D-Star repeater, but they can still get into the D-Star network.
The reason why I asked that, the nearest D-Star repeater is in Warrington. is about 20 miles away, something like that. So it's a bit difficult to get RF to it. But
Yeah.
I think there was another question, but I can't think where it was. I'll leave it at that for now.
Well, if you think of it, just stick your hand up or just shout up.
Can I just make a suggestion, Chris? Just you're thinking about using the 7300 versus the 705. I mean, one of the things I've thought about, I've got a 7300 Mark I here, is just putting that out to pasture and just using my 705 with the little linear to get me up to 100 watts when I need it, and just take the unit out portable when I do most of my operating anyway. Well, maybe not most of my operating, a fair bit of it. I mean, you could make yourself your own 705 Optima, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, my only worry on that would be the current drawn by an amplifier. Is that more than what the 7300 draws? Because I'm thinking about I'm looking at the LifePo batteries, which are the ones that they use on the golf carts and things like that. Yeah. And would the current drain from the amplifier be more than the 7300? One of my friends, G5TM, Tim, you probably all heard of him. He uses he's got a 7300 that he uses occasionally, as well as his Yaesu gear, what he has. And he can go out onto his salt marshes where he operates from. And he can operate for 8, 9, 10 hours using the 7300 Mark I at 100 watts. And his battery is, yes, it's drained, but it's not gone flat. Now, my worry is if you're using a 705 into the amplifier, would that amplifier draw more current because you're using two pieces of, if you think about it, you're going to have the 705 draining the battery as well.
No, you need about maximum 20 watts, 20 amps to get 100 watts. So, yeah. Sorry, Stephen.
I can kind of answer that question. I've got a 7100, which I've contested with, and it draws 28 amps when you're on 100 watts. I've also contested with a Zygo 6100 and the XPA 125B linear amp that goes with it, and that draws 22 amps. So it draws less than the 7100, and no doubt. I think that I can see where you're coming on for with your question about whether it would draw more, but I think that's something that's an engineering problem that Icom could probably solve. I mean, if the Chinese can solve it relatively easily, then no doubt Icom could if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Just on that, just quickly. I mean, I know you use the Zygo XPA 125 amp, don't you, with your QRP rig? Well, I use this little Chinese one, PA 100, and that seems to, from the measurements I've seen, probably uses somewhere in the range of 20 amps. And I think anything 100 watts, you're looking at 20 amps. And the thing is as well, I mean, the 7300 is a pretty heavy rig. I mean, you get a tiny little 100 watt amp, which is probably less than a kilo. And then you got the 705, which is, not that heavy either. And a fairly decent LifePo battery. I mean, the thing really, the issue, I guess, for 100 watt rigs with batteries is the maximum current draw that you've got to be allowed. You've got to be allowed that 20 amps continuous. And I think when you've got the standard LiPos, they can only go to about 10 amps. So that's what you think about. But those batteries are quite light. So if you had 705, a little tiny, I should say Chinese amplifier, which I've got, and the battery, it not take much weight, but the 705, I guess, is a bit bulky. So
I suppose that's the other thing as well when it comes to these these linears that go with QRP rigs, is that the QRP rigs you set to a watt or something similar. You don't set it very high, and all of the amplification is done in a linear.
Yeah, that's right.
And
There's not much inefficiency.
Oh, that's the thing. It's more efficient in some respects.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
Food for thought. Yeah. As I say, definitely food for thought. But, as I say, I'm waiting for 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
Yeah.
I think I've given a little hint there to something, haven't I?
Is that the Tokyo Ham Fair, is it?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the Tokyo Ham Fair. The new XO26 will be unveiled, and yeah, we'll know exactly what it is then. So, I'm hoping, and I really am hoping, it's going to be something like a 705, but with 100 watts or something like that. That's as much as I'm hoping. I'm praying. That's what I want.
I've heard a rumour that you're going to display it at Newark on the bank holiday there, the new version of Radium.
Yeah, yes, it will be at Newark. We will have it at Newark, and we will also have the ID 5200 there, etc. This is a little bit disconcerting because all I can see is I've got 4 screens with me on down the right hand side. The way I've got the layout. So all I can see is myself. I can't see all you guys. So yeah. So at Newark we will have the XO26, but whatever it's going to be called. We will also have it at the convention. So if any of you guys are planning on coming down to Newark, certainly do come across and say hello.
Cool. Yeah.
So I will be there.
Okay. Just quickly, any further comments or questions? Or?
I wonder if Roy's remembered what his other question was.
No.
And why are you going to take your credit card or wallet?
Well, if any of you think of any questions, please do email me and ask me at chrisc@icomuk.co.uk.
We'll send that out. Put on the email.
Yeah. So yeah, chrisc@icomuk.co.uk, and I will endeavour to answer your questions. And if it's a suggestion or something to pass on. I did a presentation up at Chester Club, and they've got a couple of blind members up there, and they said about the voice announcements. So as you tune the radio, it tells you what frequency, or you press a button, tells you what mode, etc., etc. Icom radios do have it. If you look at your just down to below the side there, it's the speed. If you press that, you go down. But this is I fast back to Japan for it to be a feature that's in the radio, so you can turn it on or off. So as you're tuning, it's going and you stop on a 14074. It stops on 14.074 USB. Oh, obviously it's going to be a robotic voice, but it's going to do that, and that'll as you tune in, if you tune slowly, it'll keep up with the speed and 0.63, 0.54, and so forth. So it's announcing all the time, and that's going to be on I want that to be on a switch. So when you press that speech button, that's on. So they have listened to me. Say again, sorry, Tony.
The speech on the 7000 is very clear.
Yeah.
I've got the 7000 and the speech is really clear. There's no, you can understand it quite easily.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like a robot.
No, and that's what they're aiming for. That it does sound clear. Okay, I'm doing it robotically, but it's something I've asked Icom to look at, and they have taken that on board because they've also had it from other places around the world that the blind operators have said this. And I think if they do it, I think they'll probably be one of the first companies to have it as a standard. Not be this year, not be next year, but it might be in a couple of years' time, but that should be, hopefully, in there. So they do listen. If we've got any suggestions, they do listen. 7300 Mark II, the features that are on there are what people ask for. So,
apart from drop your prices.
say again, sorry?
Apart from reduce the prices.
If you want a Rolls Royce, you pay Rolls Royce money.
Can't afford a Rolls Royce. You're muted, Nigel.
You're muted, Nigel.
I think the surprise was that the 7300 Mark II actually came out, because it was a bit of a surprise when it did. But it was nice, the fact that it did include things that people had asked for.
Yeah.
And it certainly pepped up the interest in it. I mean, I can look around this screen and I'm wondering how many people have got a 73 Mark I, let alone the 73 Mark II, and I think a fair proportion of them. So, you know, like you said, the number have actually been sold, or you're selling to a captive audience to some extent.
Yes. Yeah. It's such a good radio. The Mark I is such a good radio. As I mentioned earlier when we first started that a Kenwood man, I had a Kenwood TS590, both S and SG, I had both of them. And I had the 7300 and the TS590 next to each other, and I couldn't tell the difference with either of the receivers. And I've been using the 590 for years, then the 7300, and I think I was that used to using the 590 that I didn't use the 7300 as much as what I should have done. But it's such a fantastic little radio. Honestly, I did fall in love with it, and I think that's one of the reasons why, when I saw this job advertised, I put my name for, because I'd used that 7300 and loved it so much. I thought, oh, see if I can get it. I wasn't expecting to get it living in Nuneaton, and then they offered it me, so up sticks and down here I came. So,
go on, Alan. Unmute yourself first.
Night, Tom. Thanks for attending.
Am I on mute? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I've got the 7300 Mark II, and basically there isn't an awful lot of difference. I think it's slightly better on receive. It's a bit sharper on receive, I've got to admit that. But I had the 7300 Mark I, nothing to complain about. And I've now got the Mark II. Like I say, the receive is better. I can't see a lot of difference in the transmit, but I can't monitor that. It's only other people. But I love it. It's fine. It's not a problem at all. But I mainly got it really because I wanted a big screen. That was the main reason. I don't really need the other bits and pieces. But I found it really good value for money. I don't think it's overpriced. I think it's about right. And I'd recommend anyone to change if that's what you want. The only complaint I've got is the pity you can't put a mouse on it. Like you could, I think the ASU, you could the X10, you can put a mouse on it and select on the screen. And I think that's lacking. That could be put forward to Icom's main people. That's the only criticism I've got.
That has been mentioned before. That has gone forward. Same as the keyboard. You can't attach a keyboard to it. That has gone up to head office.
But you could use the BA software, couldn't you? I guess if you or you
could use it through your computer. You could use it through your computer, but like me, I don't use computers that much. I'm not very au fait with computers. So
I think the thing is, most people will use them through computers, and just it came back to Roy's thing as well, like using RTTY. I mean, you've got the RTTY decoder there, but I think certainly if you're doing RTTY operation, you're almost certainly going to use PC or a Mac or something for logging, if nothing else. And I guess that's probably why it's been sacrificed. Most people probably would use, a logging program, through a PC instead of direct. That's my theory anyway.
Yeah, just that some people don't. I don't use a computer at all with my radio. I just use the radio. But I'm mainly an SSB HF operator. And that's
Do you
my,
log in? Do you log on paper, Al, or do you log?
No, I've got a logging program on this computer, but it's not connected to the radio. So I do it separate. I do a paper log while I'm doing the contact, and then just transfer them onto a logging program. I use.
Should learn to do it in one piece.
Oh no.
I
like to enjoy my QSO. I don't like to be distracted. No, but
I agree with the paper log. The only way to do it. And I think
we could be here for hours on this.
This again is nothing to do with it. I'll go with the Icom badge up. This is Chris G1VDP's opinion. I think the sad day when they said we don't have to keep a logbook as part of the licensing conditions, whether it's a paper log or computer log, because 2 reasons. One, in the old logbook when I first got, and I guess there's a few of us around here who've been licensed a number of years, you used to have to have on the logbook station open, station closed, and the time. And that told you that if somebody complained about interference, you've got that. Well, I wasn't even on there. Look, it's station open, station closed. And you could still do that with electronic logging. So as soon as you started up, it registered as station opened. You shut it down, station closed. And I think that should still be part of the license, that you have to keep a logbook.
Yeah, I do keep a logbook for that reason. So that if I get any complaints, because I'm not too bad. I live at the back of a farm, so I'm not too bad. But I have got houses each side of me. But I do keep a logbook for that reason. I can say, well, I wasn't on the air then, or I was on the air then.
Yeah.
So because a typical example, my next door neighbour, when they had the earlier mobile phones that walk you around the house, 2 houses were interfering with each other, and obviously they was looking at me, but they was both on the same channel, but they was looking at me, and I said, no, it's not me. I wasn't on at that particular time. So that's why your logbook's important.
Yeah.
So I do keep a log on a computer, but that's the only reason for it. And so I can put it on Logbook of the World and QRZ and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
I mean, talking about logbooks, I don't know how many RSGB members we've got here, but in the latest issue of Radcom, there's an interesting article about the chap who found a logbook from a guy who did a maritime mobile expedition many years ago, and it details all the contacts he had whilst he was maritime mobile with a particular radio. So if anybody's got access to Radcom this time round, it's a very interesting article.
I'll read that then when I go to bed.
Yeah, it's towards the end, as you might guess, but it was actually talking about a particular transceiver that was built, but the fact that the guy had actually used it whilst he was maritime mobile, travelling from somewhere, Southampton or something like that, down to the Caribbean. It was very interesting to say the least, but there you go. Anyway, I shall butt out at that point.
Well, shall we wrap up? I think it's nearly 11:15. 9.
11. What time do you clock
it's 21. I can't read my own little thing here.
Evan, you'll have missed your takeout.
Oh yeah. I wonder what that knocking on the door was the last 2 hours. Yeah.
I'm glad I had my dinner before I came on.
Well,
I thought I got one of my logbooks just here.
Oh, right.
No. I was going to say, I thought I'd got one of my old logbooks here. I was just going to go, yeah, there's one of my old ones. I haven't.
Only once a word.
Just a little gadget I got for my 7000, so I could see it on the big screen, was that HDMI. It's HDMI converter into the 7000, and then HDMI out into the monitor.
Does that go into the CIV socket?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because then he gave you the big screen as of the 7000.
Yeah, it runs on USB power, and it can it's a 7000, and I put it on the big screen. Not that I'm short-sighted or anything, but it does actually make a big difference. It does make a big difference. On a personal note, Chris, you're a big part of the a club. Do you think, in your opinion, dropping all the practicals from the exam has caused a lot of problems as regards operators?
I don't think it's caused a lot of problems. I think it's dumbed down the licensing a little bit, because there's people now who don't know how to fit a PL259, don't know how to fit a 13 amp plug. Simple things that we should all know on that. I mean, when I did mine, you had the REE and the C 12 words a minute Morse. As you can tell from my call sign, I'm still a Class B licensee. I didn't pass my 12 words per minute Morse. But now I'm not very good at sending, but I receive pretty well up to about 25, 30 words a minute. So when I'm in a pile-up, I can receive what's being sent. So I know, and my call, I'm going up to 35, 40 words per minute, you know. But I think it's dumbed it down a little bit, taking that practical part out, because they're not getting the practical skills needed for fitting a PL259, fitting a 13 amp plug, whatever else. Now, as a club ourselves, I'm not going to say pretty new, it's an old club. The East Kent Radio Society is a very old club. But it virtually owned 2 years ago. And last year, it was resurrected in March of last year. So the few got together and decided to resurrect the East Kent Radio Society. I moved down here in September and went to one of the meetings. I made sure I'd got a place to live and I was settled in here. Went to one of the meetings in October. They had the AGM in December, and I got elected the secretary, simply because that kicked into gear before that. And I offered services because I used to be the secretary of Hinckley Radio Society. I offered to help the secretary here with any talks or presentations, because I know that many people in the hobby, not just in the UK but around the world, where I can get presentations from them. The chairman said, "Well, we need a secretary. Would you be happy to do it?" So, well, if your members elect me, then yeah. So I'm not just going to say yes, I'll do it and not be elected. So in the AGM, we did all the formal, and I got elected. I think this is, again, everything what I'm saying now is all personal thoughts and my own personal views. I think clubs, everybody should be a member of a club, because you can get so much from it, but you can only get out of it what you put in. So you will get a core membership who will do field day, who will do special event stations, who will set up at the club, who will do things at the club, on a club night. And then you get the others who just come down and watch the presentation. They'll come and have a cup of tea, come and sit and chat, and they don't mix in so much. And that's with every club across the country. But if people attend the clubs, then I think they're going to get a lot more out of it, because you will get, certainly any newbie, you'll get the information and the knowledge from us guys who've done it, who've been there, done it, if you like.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it has dumbed it down a little bit, and it has taken a lot away from the clubs.
I think my own personal feeling of it is that by doing away with the practicals, is that mainly the operator as well, because you get a lot of newbies now are completely mic shy. They won't go on the radio because of that, and it's I think it's a case of yeah, we've got these late things. Well, M7s, are more than welcome. We've advertised many times regarding open house for newbies to come along, and we've had no takers. Currently now we are getting some more new members, but it's taken a hell of a long time to get them. And I think a lot of it's down what the club can offer and how the club advertises.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of new members coming up to us, up to our meetings, simply because we try to put on a mixture of presentations. We don't open in. We close the whole of August. Our next meeting is on the 9th. Oh, sorry. The 9th of September, and I've got Richard at Golf India Ford Delta Oscar Hotel doing a presentation over Teams on his trip to Burkina Faso. Now, Richard's a good friend of mine. He was going to be in the UK and he was going to come and visit the club, but he's unfortunately he's going away in September with the Mediterranean DX group to where they're going this time. Northern Africa. They're going somewhere else in Africa. So Burundi. They're going to Burundi. So he says it's going to be too much for him. He's getting back from Japan, coming over here, and then going on packing, and then going out to Burundi. So he's going to do it over Teams. I've then got James KB2 FMH towards the end of October doing a presentation on POTA. Again, it's over Teams. He's in New York and he's doing this. And the guys have said, how the heck do you get it? Evan, you mentioned when I first came on being Beyond Exams. When Beyond Exams started in 2020, I was the Beyond Exams coordinator. And the only reason I stepped down was I wasn't getting the support from the RSGB. Now they've realised what what they have as a product, the Beyond Exams and everything in there, that they've started it up again. And Derek, whose idea it was, he's now the Beyond Exams coordinator for it. And I support Derek all the way down the line because it's such an excellent program that I think all clubs should be doing it somewhere along the line. This is a way to encourage the new people in to get that practical experience, to give them that operating experience, to give them that, and let's go down the old route of Elmer's.
I think that's why the lack of support from the RGB. That's why Pete and Steve stepped down as well from Essex and Bath.
Yeah,
I know originally Derek did come to us at Stockport with him only been up the road with Almskirk. We were going to set it all, have a go at setting it all. He said, I want to try something out. He said, are your club available? I said, yeah. So, but then COVID came along and it put paid to it.
And the RSGB took it on and it was just basically I didn't get the support from the RSGB, but was that because of COVID? I don't know. Or was it because the guy who instigated it stood down off the committee, which was John, who he's now on the EMC side of things, and I don't know. Dave Stanley, not Dave Stanley. Come on, Chris. Dave and Kath.
Dave Wilson.
Dave Wilson.
Dave Wilson, the ex-president. He was the board liaison, and we'd got so much stuff that we wanted to get and introduce and get into it that he was banging his head against the wall because they just wouldn't support the RSGB weren't supporting it at the time. Now they're supporting it because they've realised what a product and what it could be if they let it run and let it go. So,
they've lost quite a few years though by not listening.
Yeah, they have. I had in 2021. In 2021. Somebody will just say something. Oh no, it's me feeding back somewhere. In 2021, I had the ARRL asking to take it on. I had Dark, the Germans, wanted to take it on. I stood down and the Cyprus Radio wanted to take it on. So that tells you what the product was, that how good it could have been for newbies, and encouraging people into the hobby and doing this training of operating, of doing the practical skills, and it was all there to assist them. But hey ho, it's history. So.
Yeah, it is. hopefully it will take off and it will progress.
Yeah, I hope it does. As I say, I see Derek at most functions, and I've told him I'll support him.
Oh, Brian, you're going, eh?
Yeah, bye.
Bye, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for an interesting talk. Thank you. Bye. Good evening.
No problem. Thank you.
Look, I'm going to have to go as well, folks.
Yeah.
If you want to continue this, but I've got to get up. My takeaways come as well. No, only joking.
Thank you for
very much,
inviting
Chris,
me,
just on
gentlemen,
my
and thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming along. I don't know if you're going to hang around much, but much longer. I'll have to go. But yeah, we'll keep in touch, and we'll get that email that you sent around. If anyone's got any questions, I can forward that to you. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just doesn't go on tonight. That goes for if you've got any issues, anything with any Icom equipment, just give us a shout.
Yeah.
I'm always either at the end of the phone Monday to Friday 9 till 5 or 8:30 till 5, and on emails, same sort of thing. So, and I have got access to emails at home from work. So if I think it's something I can help with over the weekend, I will answer it.
That's great. So. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I appreciate that, Chris, and no doubt we'll see you at some of the events as well. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely be up at NASA again next year, so that's already in the diary for us.
Oh well, yeah. They'll save you some Uncle Joe's mint balls then.
Yeah.
No doubt we'll still have a load left.
Okay,
I think of the words to the song.
Chris,
A long time since I've heard the song.
Absolutely.
Good old Mr. Hardy.
Absolutely.
if you're ever up in Stockport, Chris, drop in. Any Saturday up here, drop in. You're more than welcome.
Well, I've got a little story here for you about Stockport. Many years ago.
I'm going to really dash. See you later.
All right, see you later, Evan. Just it's only going to be a little quick one.
Bye-bye.
Many years ago, and I'm going back to late 70s, early 80s. Before I was licensed, I was on CB. That's where I started and where my interest came. And I was a member of the Sierra Charlie DX Club, which was based in Stockport. And I can't remember whether a young lady called Sue. Now then,
We've just got it.
reminded me something there with me saying that.
So you got a logbook with it in.
Glad you're telling me story now. Evan's got and he can't stand CB.
No, I've got something a little bit better than that. There we are. No, not yes, I have. No, I haven't. It was Southport, not Stockport.
We always get the two mixed up.
Yes. Yeah. Sierra Charlie's DX, PO Box 27 Southport.
Yeah, they've got more water than us.
Yes, you're Manchester. You're next to an airport.
Not when the tide's out.
No, you are South. It is Southport, you guys, isn't it?
No, stop.
No,
You
Stockport.
are Stockport, yeah.
You're
Stockport.
Manchester.
Yeah. Just the opposite, just down the end of the Woodhead.
There's no floral wall here. Let's put it like that.
Are you, any of you near the pyramid?
Yes.
Not far from it.
Originally, it was going to be
Yes.
3 of those.
Well, pyramids.
Yeah, but they ran out of money.
Valley of the Kings. It's now a
The
Valley of
curry house now. The curry house now.
That's right.
It is the Royal Nawab.
I forgot I'd got all this stuff. Yes, that's my old,
Your CB card.
yeah.
I remember them well.
That was me.
Oh, you
Back in the day.
Oh, you weren't Tony, did you?
No, that was me, Nutty Boy.
Oh, right, I see.
26 Alpha Tango 602. Oh, good grief. Oh, that's
I'm
why,
going to go,
that's
lads.
why I wanted
Thank you
them
very
out.
much for the
That's
call.
that's why I wanted them out. Something I found the other day. So yes, but anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me in.
It's a pleasure, and thanks for coming.
Not a problem. I could have worked this if I'd have thought about this. I could have worked it with a dealer visit. Next time I've got anything, I'll work this with a dealer visit, because a route I can take is Moonraker, Radio World, then nip across the Pennines, go up to you guys, because this is how I did it with Chester Club. Went up to Chester, stayed in Chester in the night from Radio World, and then shot over the Pennines to see Lee at Lamco. So I could come up, see Lee at Lamco, or come Moonraker, Radio World, come up to Stockport, stay somewhere around Stockport, come and visit you guys and do a club visit. Get up the next morning, shoot over to see Lammy, and into Sheffield Union to see the kids there, and then back down to here, and I'd work it that way. That's how I like to try and work things, so I can actually visit the clubs.
Yeah, we meet. We meet in the evening, obviously, sometimes during the month, but we also meet on a Saturday, and we have a long meeting on the second Saturday of each month, which is a time when we get more members attending because it is a Saturday and it's a lot more laid back. So if you can fit a Saturday in, then that would be great from our point of view.
If I did that, I'd come up to see you guys and then drop over to Doncaster to see my mum during the day, and go and stay in Doncaster for the night and what have you.
Yeah, but it's the second Saturday.
But that would be a personal visit, doing it as myself, as rather as Icom.
It's the second Saturday.
Yeah, I'll bear that in mind. So next time I'm coming up that way, if it is the second Saturday and I've got time, I'll scoot across. It's only an hour from Doncaster to you guys.
Absolutely.
Come over the wood end.
Yeah, it's a bit quieter on the weekend as well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no problem. Right, gentlemen, I'm going to scoot and grab myself a quick before I go to bed and get settled down and get switched off and everything.
And regards to everybody in Herne Bay.
No problems. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you very much for having me and listening to me waffle on.
Very good.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
See you, Chris.
7-3.
Bye now.
7-3. Bye now.
Bye now.